We have been waiting months for any kind of information regarding the Repentance console release, and we finally may have gotten something. Now, I want to preface this by saying that this all may not be final. When it comes to release dates on eStores, sometimes release dates are more like placeholders. But there is a definite high chance this is the true Repentance console release date, which I will get into later. And I also want to say that if you enjoyed this video, a like and a sub and a comment means a lot to me and really helps me grow as a creator. It takes 2 seconds and it makes my day. Thanks. Anyways, where did this information come from? Well, on October 13th, Tyrone Rodriguez, who I guess is still working with Edmund and Nicholas to my disappointment, tweeted out this picture with this caption: "The truth is out there." This sparked a lot of interest, with the replies to this tweet also containing pretty helpful information. For example, on the Xbox Store, it lists the Repentance release date as November 4th. Oddly enough, there is nothing about Repentance on the PlayStation or the Switch, but we know from previous statements from Edmund and also Tyrone's pinned tweet that it will launch on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and the Nintendo Switch all at the same time. There are a few things that worry me, however. On the Xbox One store, it says that Repentance is incompatible with this device. But, in the additional info, it mentions being playable and downloadable on the Xbox One. I just hope the launch is not as messy as it was for PC. The game also says it is optimized for Xbox Series X, which may explain the longer wait time. It is a lot harder to work with an entirely new console and, as far as I'm aware, a new game engine, when porting over a new game whose code was just redone in a new language a few years prior. Aside from that, we can also see the price point of $60 for Repentance. Now I'm assuming this refers to buying the bundle of Rebirth, Afterbirth, Afterbirth Plus, as well as Repentance as a whole, and the actual DLC itself just being the standard $15 alone. There are some concerns about that, and I agree. It would be ridiculous to have Repentance be a separate game, incompatible with consoles Afterbirth Plus, forcing people who already own the game to buy it over again. But I don't believe that Nicholas or Edmund, well, I guess just Edmund, would do that. So, suppress those worries for now until we hear something more specific. So what does this all mean? Well, in summary, if all of this is correct, we will see the launch of Repentance on console on November 4th, 2021, on the Xbox Series X, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and the PlayStation 4 and 5, at the price point of $15 for the solo DLC, and $60 for the entire DLC bundle. And just a side note, yes, you need to own Rebirth, Afterbirth, and Afterbirth Plus in order for Repentance to function. But now, what about the patch? I have reason to believe the patch will not be dropping with the release of console. It'll most likely be afterwards. Back in September, Edmund tweeted this out, where he says, "Repentance is getting a console launch soon, but no set date." In a separate sentence, he then addresses the PC update is still in the work. If these were going to be dropped on the same day, I suspect he would have said that in the tweet, not stated them as separate instances. Personally, I think the patch will drop after the console release. The console edition will most likely launch with the balance patches that PC players have been asking for but haven't gotten yet. And here's why. Repentance is releasing on the console a little bit before the holiday season, meaning that initial reviews are heavily going to affect the Black Friday sales. So, they've been trying their hardest and pushing out for the smoothest console launch possible. With the focus being on console, they're able to test out the balance patches while also making progress on the actual game's port. And once it releases, they can then transfer those balances over to PC. But that's just my thought. Let me know what you guys think down below. The last thing I want to talk about are the expectations. By far, the most fun new addition into Isaac is the multiplayer experience, and it would be a shame if they launched this game on console with no online support. Right now, there is a way to host Isaac's servers off of your PC for your friends to join in the game, meaning this was or still is a planned feature of the game. If they decide to utilize this in Repentance for console, it will be huge. The closest thing we have aside from the janky in-game server hosting is using Steam Remote Play or another third-party software. If they want to take that even further, they could also introduce crossplay from PC to console. But with PC having many more features such as mods and all of that stuff, it seems doubtful. The other reason I doubt this will happen is because it only lists local co-op as a feature on the Xbox Store page, so I guess we will most likely not be seeing this. And the very last thing I want to see in the game is mod support. I mean, Repentance itself started off as a mod, and for Afterbirth Plus, all of the game's booster packs were centered around community-made mods. Bethesda made this happen for Skyrim, and with over half a year of waiting, they have to have something big planned. Anyways guys, that's gonna do it for today. I've been BD1P, peace out and goodbye.